You do it again. You swear this time you'll stay soft, you'll stay open, you'll let yourself have it. The peace, the joy, the thing you prayed for, the thing you thought you didn't deserve, but got anyway. And then, right as it begins to settle, you scratch at it, push it, doubt it, break it. You find a reason to undo what was barely starting to bloom. Maybe it's an argument, maybe it's avoidance, maybe it's nothing at all. And afterward, you sit alone in a room that no longer loves you back, wondering why you keep doing this, why you keep building homes only to set them on fire. No one teaches you what to do with softness when your only language is defense. So you destroy, not for drama, not for chaos, but for comfort. Because pain is familiar, and you'd rather bleed on your own terms than risk being cut by surprise. You learned early that being punished was easier than being forgotten. So you caused trouble, or you vanished completely, or you smiled too much and never said how badly it hurt. Whatever kept you safe, you did it. Over and over, until it wasn't a reaction anymore, it was you. They called it your personality. You knew it as survival. And every time something good happened, something calm, gentle, deserved, a voice inside you whispered, "This doesn't last. Don't trust it. They'll leave." So you rushed the ending, beat the goodbye to the punch, threw the gift back before it could be taken, and you told yourself it was noble, that you didn't need it anyway, that no one really sees you when you're not suffering, because that's how it's always been. You weren't raised for joy, you were raised for endurance. So when peace comes knocking, you flinch. You self-destruct because silence doesn't feel like rest. It feels like being forgotten all over again. No one tells you that healing can feel like death when your identity was built around pain. You sit in a room that finally feels safe. No yelling, no tension, no sharp edges. And instead of relaxing, you unravel. Because peace doesn't feel like home. It feels like nothing. And nothing is terrifying when chaos is all you've ever known. So you stir the water. You create noise. You ruin the calm. Just to feel something real. Just to feel alive. Because self-destruction isn't always about failure. Sometimes it's the only way you remember how to exist. You learned to associate pain with presence, with attention, with mattering. So when everything's fine, you wonder if you're still real, still worthy, still allowed. And instead of asking for help, you fall apart in private. Because that's where no one expects you to perform. That's where the self returns, not the one they cheer for, but the one you buried just to be allowed to stay. You tell yourself you want it, the love, the peace, the ease. But the moment it arrives, you're back in your head, second-guessing it, testing it, looking for the flaw that must be hiding beneath the kindness. Because no one ever gave without taking. No one ever stayed without asking you to shrink. No one ever loved you without requiring a performance. So this sudden tenderness, this soft landing, it can't be real. And instead of embracing it, you reject it. Not loudly, not on purpose, but in all the subtle ways you know how to say, "I'm not ready for this." You ghost them. You sabotage the good days. You talk yourself out of what you need. Because somewhere deep in your gut, you're still loyal to the version of you who wasn't allowed to have nice things. And that loyalty, it costs you everything. Healing isn't just about becoming, it's about grieving who you've had to be. You self-destruct not because you're flawed, but because the version of you that survives is terrified of the version of you that thrives. Because thriving means letting go of pain, letting go of roles, letting go of the identity that made you useful to others but invisible to yourself. And that's not easy. That's not linear. That's not pretty. You're You're saying goodbye to the person you were forced to become just to be tolerated. And it hurts, even when it's right, even when it's time. But in that grief is your becoming, your return, your real self, unpolished, unpackaged, and finally unapologetic.